Welcome to Yansu. We have spawning in the bottom left position, the red Protoss player, the mean red killing machine from my insanity, the Swiss Korean. It is Stardust. As good as Korean internet, and as fashionable as a Swiss watch, Stardust truly is the best of both worlds. And his opponent in the top right position, spawning as the purple Zerg player. One of two brothers left standing in StarCraft 2, the Spaniard, who's up 2-0. It is VortiX. So, it's come to this. VortiX is one game away from a sweep into the finals. The finals. And that was just smart builds by him. VortiX is a smart guy, clearly. And I think he did a great job of abusing Stardust's Nexus first tendency. Stardust is not going to go Nexus first this map. I think he's realized, like, you know what? I don't think I want to play versus the 10-pool Speedling all in again. But, oh well. Let's see if you can do this game, guys. The Forge opening is fine. It would punish a hatchery first very well, but the Overlord sees the probe, and so he's like, I don't want to lose this game to cannon, so let's just build a spawning pool. Let's just do it. And, well, he probe pylon blocks, and the probe's going to go in and get some Scouterino going on here. Sees no gas. That's got to feel good for him. Sees a normally timed spawning pool. I think this is one of those situations where Stardust definitely wants to scout and be aware of what's going on. He actually finishes the pylon. I've seen some sick people build like gateways on this. I think I once saw someone build a gateway and then a cybernetics core, like just to be the most annoying person alive ever born. It might have been Russian Star League or something. Someone once built, maybe it was a cybernetics core, but the cannon's on the way. And Stardust's gateway, much later than he probably would have wanted to have it. So let's see what he can do as the gateway gets placed by Stardust. And then, of course, we will see him take the gas. He's forced to take this base as his, well, I guess technically his second base at the third location. And Stardust, I guess it's okay. I don't know how I feel about pylon blocking. Most Zerg players, as a Protoss player, it's really funny when you talk to other Protosses, right? Because I play a reasonable amount of PvZ, and if you ask a pro gamer Protoss, they'll be like, well, pylon blocking isn't really worth it enough to do it every game. So if pylon blocking isn't worth it enough to do it every game, you know, why do it? And then you ask a Zerg player, and they're like, it's the most annoying thing in the world. You can be a Zerg and just go into a game being like, look, this is what I want to do, this is how I want to do it, and then you get pylon blocked, and you're like, well, do I make more Zerglings less than I was planning to? There's so many other things that come into play at that point that make it really interesting. And this queen, she has a slow, long, arduous journey through the jungle over towards that natural expansion as she finds her little toes stepping onto the creep. So, +1 attack is very early for Stardust, actually. This Zergling sees that, and he's like, well, if you're getting a fast +1 attack, your cybernetics core hasn't even finished, you probably can't get very quick tech. Now, that's not to say that he won't, because if he wants to get the Mothership Core and a Stalker, he won't have any gas, so it's true. But instead he Chrono Boosts on the Warp Gate. This could just be a +1 attack timing with the Warp Gate. And I actually think that would be a pretty solid idea. They both take the same amount of time to research, so if he splits the Chronos evenly, he could theoretically do like a mass Zealot all-in of some kind. Mothership Core's on the way. So, a second Chrono onto Warp Gate. And this is already looking like it has the potential to shape up for a very aggressive 2-base build by Stardust. There's a reason why people call this guy Cheese Dust. I think he made a lot of anti-fans by beating Jaedong in the last round. There's just something about good Protoss players that really rustles a lot of jimmies, and Stardust is no exception. 4 gateways on the way, 5 gateways on the way. This Overlord needs to see. This Overlord needs to see. The Stalker is coming over. He's going to try to deny this Overlord. 6 gateways. It's a 7-gate +1 attack. Zealot Stalker all in. And he is... he might see it. Oh, no. His Overlord is so low. He takes a poke at the tower. Is he gonna see? He sees one of the gates. He sees two. He sees... Oh, he gets the full read. He barely catches a glimpse of all but the last one. So he knows it is at least gonna be 6 gates. And 6 gates can actually be standard in some cases. But usually as a Protoss player... Wow, that actually saves the probe. Usually as a Protoss player, you only want to have 4 gates if you're playing economically. Like, there's not really anything to worry about if you see only 4 gateways. But 6, it's like, he's kind of preaching that level of heavy aggression, and here it comes. A bunch, actually it's just Stalkers. That's really interesting. Not many Zealots yet versus a mostly Zergling composition. +1 attack is complete, trying to get another pylon down to reinforce his push with. The probe is still alive, cancels one of the pylons, but there's still another one. Another pylon does get placed right on top of the ramp, and the Queen throws the inject. Roaches are on the way. I guess that's one of the reasons you want to have this many Stalkers. Can he keep up in the production? Can he keep up in the everything? I still feel like these Zerglings are really good versus this few Zealots, and the Roaches help. They pick off the Zealot, they pick off one of the Stalkers. Now Zealots are getting warped in for Stardust. And he's going to town. He's trying to kill these Roaches off there. The Zealots, he needs to bring them down with this force. I don't know if Stardust is going to be able to break him with this. VortiX has a very solid setup, but every warp-in makes this more and more deadly, and he does still have a time warp available. He can retreat if he needs to, so this will be tough. Yeah, he's going to bring it. He's pulling the drones as well. The Zerglings go in. There's the time warp on the Roaches. The drones have pulled off. They're not actually fighting, though. The Zealots get on top of these time warps. Actually, this is exactly what he wants. Roaches versus Zealots. Zerglings versus Stalkers. But Stardust might have too much. The drones come up the ramp. The Roaches are trying to push this back, but all of the Stalkers are still alive. And this just doesn't seem like there's enough here for VortiX. He has barely any drones in this natural expansion. All the drones from this third base are dead. And VortiX, he cannot stop this army. Stardust still has too much. He's gained a supply lead. And this looks like it could be it. GG, Stardust takes game number 3. And we have had 3 very short, very fast, brutal games. And this has been really just